I could literally feel myself putting all of my faith in God at that moment, like all of my faith, all of my trust that he's gonna answer this prayer, like right here in this moment. Because I was, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ange, and today we're gonna be talking about our labor and delivery experience. As y'all can see or may not see, I have my newborn. Specifically, we're gonna be talking about how God made it so that I could have a vaginal delivery after a previous C-section. So if you're interested in this story and how everything went, stay tuned. And also go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. He was born on the 4th, so he's 5 days old right now, 6 pounds and 15 ounces. He was so little compared to my daughter, who was 8 pounds and 3 ounces. I guess I'll start from the beginning. So when I gave birth to my daughter, she's 2.5 right now. I didn't plan on having a C-section. I was just expecting everything to go smoothly, to just push the baby out, and then that'd be that. But with London, she was actually like breached. She was breached sideways. We had to go in and have her flipped manually. And then at that time, I actually got induced. And had I known what I know now, I would have just went home and not got induced and just let labor happen on its own. But she got flipped so that she was head down, and then they induced me with medications to start my labor. And that whole experience was just like really rough. I think I said that in my last video, like it was a rough experience. They broke my water bag. I had the epidural. When it was time to push, I could not feel anything. I couldn't even feel my contractions. I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't feel anything. I was in labor for too long. My water bag had been broke, and then London's heart rate was going down, so I ended up having to have a C-section. So after that, I was discouraged for a long time, like after having a C-section, because I'm like, why can't I just have a normal birth? Why can't I just have, you know, a regular birth? Eventually, as time passed, I kind of got over it, kind of healed. You know, for those out there who've had C-sections, you're no less than a mother. Like, you still gave birth to a beautiful baby. The baby's healthy. That's the main thing that matters. But for a long time, that had me. So when I found out that I was pregnant with JJ, I was like, yeah, I do not want to have another C-section. I don't want them to have to cut into me anymore. And the main reason is because when I had London, I didn't know God. I didn't know Christ. But now that I know Christ, I wanted things to be just as natural as possible, just to be closely aligned with how God intended things to be. That was my goal, to have, it's called a vaginal birth after C-section. And I am so grateful, I'm so thankful that it happened naturally. Like, I'm gonna talk about the recovery soon, but just briefly, like the recovery from a C-section to versus a natural, like a vaginal birth, it's so much different. Like, this is only day 5, and I just feel like I can do so much. Like, I know I'm still supposed to rest, but I feel like I can just do so much more. I'm not in as much pain. Like, it's just so much smoother than when I had my C-section. So I'm just so grateful that God was with me and just allowed me to have a natural birth. So the prayers that I prayed before going into birth, there was a couple prayers that I kept going back and forth to, but the main one that I prayed was, God, let the right people be in the room at the right time. I'm like, God, whoever needs to be hired, let them be hired. Whoever needs to be fired, let them be fired. Like, I want the right people in the room at the right time. And when I tell y'all, God came through in that aspect. Like, everybody who was in the room was literally perfect. Like, it was just such a good experience. My OB doctor, she was gonna be on call on Thursdays and Sundays. And I was really praying that JJ comes out on a Thursday or a Sunday so that my doctor can deliver the baby. But it turns out I didn't even give birth with her. Like, it was the next day, and a new doctor was on call from the same practice, but they actually delivered the baby. But the nurse, the doctor, everybody, my husband, everybody was very supportive and encouraging, and they agreed with my birth preferences and my plans, like on very minimal interventions. So the right people were in the room at the right time, and that's just an answered prayer. I'm just so grateful that God put those people in the room. Another prayer that I prayed was that everything runs smoothly, that I don't have to go back to having another C-section, because I did not want that. And God came through, and we had a vaginal delivery. There is a risk of, uterine rupture, and I'm just grateful that that didn't happen with me and that everything ran smoothly. At the end of the day, I wanted a healthy baby to be born, And then on top of that, I just wanted the birth, like just minimal interventions, like let the body, what God designed, let it do what it does on its own. So next, let's talk about labor and how labor started and what happened. So I've talked about before, when I had my C-section, I didn't go into labor on my own. They actually induced me, but this time my body went into labor on its own at 39 weeks and I think maybe 4 days, because he was due on April 7th, but he came on April 4th. So 39 weeks and 4 days. So on April 3rd, I went to sleep. You know, I was having the Braxton Hicks contractions, but they were like a little bit spaced apart, picking up but spaced apart, like not very severe, like I could sleep through them. So I went to sleep, and then at 12:30, I woke up and everything started from there. So my contractions were coming every 5 minutes for an hour, and they say, you know, when that happens, call your doctor, let them know. We're only 15 minutes from the hospital, so I wasn't worried about like giving birth on the road or anything. So they were coming every 5 minutes, called in, my doctor was on call. She said, okay, you can go in now, or you can just labor at home a little bit longer and then come in. Around 3 o'clock, I'm like, okay, it's time to go in. Like they were every 3 minutes and then at least 60 seconds long each. And like they were stronger, like they were getting stronger. I had to like try to use the birth ball. Like I really could not do anything during that time, but just try to breathe through the contractions. And don't be like me. If you have not packed your hospital bag.
What's wrong with my tablet?
What's wrong with your tablet?
Look.
Okay. Tell Dada.
Dada.
I was saying, if you have not packed your bag, even the smallest details that you think you can grab when you go, just do it now. Just do it while you have time, because at that time, as the contractions were getting sooner and sooner, I'm like, oh, I can just pack. I'm gonna just pack. But no, those contractions got bad and I couldn't do anything. My husband, he had to do everything, make sure everything was packed. I could not do anything with those contractions. So at that time, I'm like, okay, it's time to go to the hospital because I think that we are in labor. I was scared that they were gonna turn me around. I was like, what if I'm not even dilated? But we got to the hospital. I was 4 centimeters dilated already. This time my body went into labor and I was just so excited. I was so happy that I was 4 centimeters dilated and then my body started going into labor on its own. It was just such a different experience already, like just experiencing those contractions and that pain. The verses that were getting me through those contractions, where there's a verse in Genesis where God is talking to Adam and Eve, and he's telling Eve, you're gonna bear children that's gonna be very painful. And I kept holding on to that scripture. And also there's a scripture that says like a laboring mother, like she's in so much pain at that moment, but then there's so much joy when the baby's born that she forgets all the pain that she went through. So those are getting me through, and I was just very happy that I was 4 centimeters dilated already. I read somewhere that after 5 centimeters the pain doesn't really get worse. So I was like, I'm almost there. If I can just keep holding on, I can do this all natural. No epidural, no pain medications, no nothing like that. So that was my plan. Also, I just had a pray or a worship playlist going, just trying to sing those and trying to just keep myself distracted. Just really helped to get through that first part. Now, this was at like 3:30 in the morning when we got to the hospital. I was 4 centimeters dilated. But then I think it was like 10:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. It became unbearable. I don't know how far dilated I was. They hadn't checked me because I wanted very minimal checks. So at 10:30, it got to the point where I was just like crying. My contractions felt like they were just constant. Like it's supposed to be like a little hill, like it goes up, it peaks, and then it comes back down. My contractions, it went up, it peaked, but it literally stayed there. It stayed there and I couldn't do anything. Like nothing helped. The breathing didn't help. Like breathing, it got me through a lot, and prayer, it got me through a lot, and listening to the music got me through a lot. But then there was a point to where I could not, like I was losing control. Like my breathing was sporadic. I was crying. Like I couldn't take the pain anymore. And I think I have a very strong pain tolerance, but I just could not take it. It was like just constant, just stabbing. So that was a little disappointing because I did end up getting an epidural. I didn't want to get the epidural because I didn't want the epidural to slow down anything. I wanted everything to just be natural, but it was getting to the point where the labor was going to be like a traumatic experience, and I wasn't going to be able to enjoy like bringing life into the world. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the epidural, and I'm gonna just focus on bringing this baby into the world and doing my best to not let it revert to a C-section. So yeah, I just kept trying to pray, kept listening to music. My husband, he would rub my back and everything. But when I got that epidural, it was smooth sailing. And this time I could actually still feel the pressure of the contraction. So I knew when I was having a contraction versus last time, I could not feel anything with that epidural with my daughter. I couldn't feel a single contraction. But this time I felt every contraction, just not the pain of it. I felt the pressure of it. So that really helped a lot when it came time to push. And again, my nurse was amazing. She was amazing. She supported every decision, and she just had everything like on time. Like, she was just amazing. I want to say her name, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't know if I should. But she was amazing, amazing, amazing nurse. And the staff, they were very familiar with a VBAC is what it's called, vaginal birth after delivery, after C-section. It happens quite often at the hospital, so I was very encouraged by that. So now during pushing is when I started to get a little fearful again, because I was pushing and I thought that nothing was happening. Like last time when I gave birth, my daughter's heart rate was dropping and everything. Basically they said we gotta do a C-section. This time, as I was pushing, JJ, his heart rate, it dropped a little bit, but the doctor there, he was not concerned because of how the labor was progressing. Like he could start to see that JJ was coming down. Like with each push, he was coming down, and like labor was actually progressing. So I was like a little bit discouraged because I'm like, okay, this is what happened last time. Am I gonna have to have a C-section? Like I started to get in my mind at that point, like just letting those thoughts run through my mind. And in that moment, I just had to pray. I had to surrender everything to God. I had to just surrender even this whole pushing process. I'm like, Lord, I ask that you just get me through this labor. Like, just help me push where I need to push. Like, just desperate, really. Like, I'm just praying for God to intervene. And I could literally feel myself putting all of my faith in God at that moment. Like, all of my faith, all of my trust that He's gonna answer this prayer, like right here in this moment. Because I was just like, I don't want to have another C-section. But I just like literally surrendered it to God, and I just gave it over to Him. I gave Him the burden, and I just kept doing what I could do. I kept pushing, and then in less than an hour, JJ was born. He was pushed out. And if you want to see, I should have mentioned this in the beginning. If you want to see the actual birth, the labor and delivery birth, it's on our couples channel. I'll put the link somewhere or wherever. I'll put the video there if I can. But that's the actual video of the birth, if you want to see that. But anyways, in less than an hour, 54 minutes, he was pushed out. And he was little, only 6 pounds and 15 ounces, but he was pushed out of me. Something that I thought wouldn't happen at one point because I had the C-section, and you hear once a C-section, always a C-section. No, like if you still desire a vaginal birth, it can still happen for you. Just pray about it, seek God, talk to your doctors, and just ask God for guidance, and He will do it. But in less than an hour, he was pushed out, and I got to do skin to skin. It was just a beautiful, beautiful experience, just being able to do that and just having God come through. That was a quick answer prayer. I just gave it to God, and He came through. So like this whole labor and delivery was just a bunch of answered prayers, and it's really going to deepen my relationship with God because He does answer prayer and He does listen. Like it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to do that, to just bring life into the world like that, the way that God intended. And if you had a C-section, or if you have one scheduled or whatever, don't be discouraged. And there's other things out there too if you want to do a vaginal birth after C-section. Like a lot of people I watched, they did like pelvic floor exercises and all types of stuff to prepare. I did not do any of that. I was walking a lot because I'm a nurse. Like I get a bunch of walking. That's like pretty much the main activity. I'm gonna be honest, that's the main activity that I did during this pregnancy. I did some workouts, some at-home workouts, some at-home stretches, and a lot of stuff on the pregnancy ball. But even with that little bit, just pray about it and just seek God about it as soon as possible. and just allow him to see it through. Now let's talk about recovery, y'all. And look at him, he's just so sleep. Like I said, this is only day 5 and I feel amazing. Now this pregnancy was different. With London, I was like swelling everywhere. I was throwing up all the time. It was a rough pregnancy. Like, it was still beautiful, but it was a rough pregnancy. With JJ, the only thing that really bugged me this pregnancy was just my mental, like just being foggy all the time. And I can already see that that's improving, to be honest. But recovery wise, it's only day 5 and I feel like I can do what I did pre-pregnancy. My belly's going down. It's not a lot of pain. I can bend and stuff because I don't have that incision. It's just such a smoother experience. Even with having a toddler in the house already, like, it's so much smoother. And all he's doing is sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. But that's pretty much it. And even though I do feel great, I am still like trying to prioritize rest because there is a big old wound in my uterus that I cannot see. And I don't want to have any bleeding or anything. So I'm just trying to prioritize getting rest. So I just want to let you all know, all you moms out there, you're not alone. Put your trust in God, put your faith in God, and just let him into all the areas of your life, including your pregnancy, including your delivery. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that I didn't miss anything, but because my camera's gonna die, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But I do hope that y'all liked it. If you did, go ahead and leave me a like, comment below your labor experience, how far along are you, anything like that, and then go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, also, if you have any questions, if I didn't mention anything about this journey to a vaginal birth after C-section, let me know in the comments as well, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.